Hello, I'm Dr. David Pakta, and I'm the Director of Leadership Development at CHORD. So I often get asked about our church partners. What are they? So our church partners are like-minded congregations that we've entered into this 3-year journey together, where we're trying to build in a way that really meets the contemporary church need. And just as an individual goes from being a child to an adolescent to a young adult onto maturity, churches go through that same process. So a young church can focus very narrowly on a few things and do really well. But as a church grows and matures, different things come to the front about what's needed, what needs to be developed, the skill sets, the giftedness. Part of the partnership reality is that we're finding ourselves having different partnership dynamics with different partners because the congregation is at a different place on the journey. So Canada was our first partnership, and that really became a platform to develop Thread. We spent about 6 months really looking at how could we reimagine deeper, more nurturing spiritual teaching in local congregations across the country. And because we had 11 churches spread out from east to west coast, we decided we needed something that could be universal, but that also could bring depth to the average member. So that became really what the Canadian partnership was about. But then as we started partnering with bigger multi-site churches like Chicago that has 7 regions, Dallas that has 5 regions, there was a lot more to do with shaping the culture of the church. In most cases, developing the teaching ministry and the infrastructure to help support it was an integral part of this process. But these partnerships also were about doing a real honest assessment. What's really going on in the culture of the church? What's really happening from region to region? What are the things that we could look at and say we can do better? And so one of the aspects of developing these partnerships was spending time on the ground, going from ministry to ministry, talking to members, small group leaders, the board, the leadership teams, the staff, and asking questions that really help to understand all the different dynamics that were going on in the church. And then after taking a few months to process that, think about that, pray about that, we would go back into these congregations and share our observations and recommendations of how can we build from where you are? How do we lead from here to build into strength that creates a healthier culture that really reflects that Ephesians 4 model that we talk about? And what we have found is that in these partnerships, helping them to navigate the contemporary culture, changes of leadership, the development of different gifts, working together to shape culture, integrating Thread and all the other pieces of how to really build a healthy teaching ministry, and then really helping the culture as a whole to move more holistically forward has been an integral part of what has defined those partnerships going forward.